Oh, good morning. How do you do? Trust you are well. My title says it all for today. Push through the resistance will yield. It will yield. Eventually, it will yield. It must yield. The balance of probability says that it will yield. You know, when you set off on these journeys, especially those of us who are going on tangents that are alien, when you are a young person and you start a career, you learn the career, you figure out how to do it. Maybe as a Facebooker, I am on TikTok now, trying to create regular live videos on TikTok. Having got a clue, not the funniest, what happens on this ticking and talking. The funny thing is that it is so odd, blessings, Sister Kim, it is so odd to be at the starting point when you have moved off. It is one of the things that gets in a lot of people's heads when you get to my age and older. The notion of starting again, of feeling incompetent, of not knowing what to do. It's uncomfortable, it's unpleasant. And that alone is able to put many of us off on the tangents that will really transform our lives. And what I want to say to you today is that's actually not that unusual. You know? There's nothing really wrong with not knowing. And I think until the day you die, you will still come to places and positions of not knowing. I mentioned on here not long ago that I may be up for a career change. And as soon as I said that, a lot of my friends were in my WhatsApp. What did you mean? Rafiq, good morning. What did you mean? Are you thinking of changing from working in schools? Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it because the thought of working with teenagers in my 60s is scary. It might be easier for me to be working with 20-something-year-olds than with actual teenagers with raving hormones in my 60s. So my friend was like, well, Kate, how you doing? Well, but that means you are starting a career afresh. Can you imagine being a career entrant? I can imagine it. And I can imagine entering a career and bringing the discipline and the experience of rising through this career. And I mentioned to the friend, do you remember that straight out of university, I went and worked for a bank? A couple of financial institutions, actually. A private financial institution and then a bank. And the person is, oh, yeah, I worked for Halifax Bank of Scotland for a while before I figured out what I was going to do and went into teaching. So yeah, I started a career somewhere. Okay, I didn't rise that high before I made a decision to go. But I've already done a career somewhere else and changed completely. Went from financial and went into education to go use my skills in better ways. Well, this one is even a parallel sideways step, really. Jay, how you doing? You get you. I would be moving from education of very young people into higher education. That is not actually too much of a side step. But can you imagine if you went and started work as the lowest paid in the organization? Yes, I can imagine. And because I am the most inexperienced, yes, I probably should be the lowest paid in the organization. And yes, I'm quite happy to build and grow and learn. She concludes by telling me that I've lost my damn mind. That it would be a stupid move and not to think about it. And that's all she wanted to tell me. That at her age, starting afresh is not good. And I said to her, this is the reason why so many of us end up in stupid marriages and stay there. The marriages we are in suck. They are stupid. But the fear of walking off and starting again, of building afresh, is a fear. But why is that a fear, I asked? Why are we afraid of winning when we've been losing for so long? Why? It makes no sense, Rosalind. It does not make any sense. But that's how a lot of us think. You are stepping into a new career. It's so scary. It's so terrible. But if where you have been has not been working, a 50-50 chance of potentially winning, I think, is great odds. If your marriage sucks, going to start somewhere else. Yeah. The devil you know is better than the angel you know. The devil you know is guaranteed a devil. The unknown angel, you might be lucky. You might be lucky. And it might turn out positive. It might turn out positive. It's a 50-50 chance. It could go wrong. It could go right. If it goes wrong, well, all you have is what you had before. You would only match your existing rubbish in the worst case scenario. But for the chance to do better, for the opportunity to get better, I think it is worth the stake. So how many of you have not made moves because you are old? Aren't you sick and tired of the poverty in your age? Huh? Some of you are borrowing money during the month from people who could be your kids, your nieces, whatever, young people. Sometimes you might actually be lucky and be able to borrow from friends. I mean, it's still embarrassing that people who started life with you, who have had about the same length of time to get their life together, have managed to sort theirs and you haven't. And you need to go and be borrowing money off them to manage your affairs on a regular basis. I mean, Mama Felicia, how you doing? Good morning. It's wonderful to see you. Isn't it worth the gamble to go and stake and see what you could get out of this one? Is it not worth the gamble? To me, it is. To me, it is. It is worth the chance to be better. So the thought of potentially starting a new career, which my friends say is the worst thing to even imagine, when you think about it logically, it makes a lot of sense. In my case, the reasons why a lot of them have the feelings they have is because in schools we have so many holidays. So many holidays. 16 weeks of holidays around the year. And to strip back down to 1 month a year, 30 days, or sometimes even 25 days, depending on the industry you move in, is a shock to the system. It is a shock to the system. But why? Tony, good morning. Why would you trade all these holidays and go to somewhere where you would have less holidays? So I asked my friend, what do we use these holidays for? At the moment, we are so poor. When we get the holidays, we stay in our houses. We are not able to go anywhere and do any holiday with it. We is poor. We are holidaying nothing. What's the point of the time off when you can't even use it for Jack? Won't it be better if we were in places where we could actually use the time off for time off and do time off things and do holidays 30 days of the year rather than take time and sit inside the building? She's like, well, that's also a point. Yes, that's a very valid point. like the idea of working in higher education. Is very attractive to me at the moment because it brings you liberties and freedoms that we do not get in the younger ranges because of the way education is set up. All my messages, I'm going to download everything from Facebook and I'm going to put them all on YouTube. Facebook has decided that they don't want to host videos here for free anymore past 30 days anyway, so I need to figure out how to download all of them and schedule them on YouTube. So my advice is that if you've not followed the YouTube page, go and follow YouTube because I will be moving all the long stock videos over there. Yeah, the videos are going on YouTube. So those of you who had wanted them on YouTube all along, you are in luck. Facebook no longer wants to give more than 30 days of posting. How I'm going to download all these videos and work on and upload, it's going to be the tough one to figure out, but it will be done. Anyway, higher education offers me, Sister Lily, how you doing? Higher education offers me a chance to get a bit of direction. The way secondary school education works, the children have to be supervised every second of the day. And so if a teacher is absent, the rest of us who are present have to stand in and cover those lessons. That is additional on top, and depending on the institution you work in, that could also be quite a lot of hours added on top of the lot of hours that you've already contracted to. In higher education, if a person doesn't turn up, those are adults. They don't need any babysitting from nobody. There's no cover lessons to take. In higher education, you'll be working with people who have chosen to be there and hopefully recognize the importance of being there and committed to doing what it takes to make the most out of being there. It's certainly got to be better than working with the younger ones. In my experience, working with upper secondary, it is significantly better than lower secondary anyway. So I'm thinking, Chantal, how are you doing? I'm thinking that those who are a step further than upper secondary have got to be even better, even more focused. I'm not expecting a better process. I expect some slight improvement, and my friend is like, but a whole career change at this age. Why not? Why not? If a whole career change at this age could bring you some liberties and freedoms you've never had, where's the conversation? Where is the conversation? There's a friend of ours who's moved in to become an educational consultant, and she's living the life, really. She is traveling to this educational fair here today, going to this fair there. Right now, they are in their season. Recruitment fair after recruitment fair is what she's doing. She's in Jeddah 1 minute, she is in Abu Dhabi the next. She is traveling all over the place, living the life. Living the life. And I mentioned it and I said, well, such a body has made a change in career. And that career change is what has brought this free travel. Yesterday, I found myself booking a flight that I haven't paid for. This is an annual thing that I do. As soon as the confirmation of dates came, I jumped straight on to go and book my flights to go for this thing. And you should see me deciding to do. So this time we are in Manchester, I hope. Every year they change the location in the UK we go to. But this time we are in Manchester. We are in home. We are on my home turf. And I was thinking, ooh, should I pick a direct flight? No. We're not picking a direct flight. Why will I pick a direct flight? No. Oh no. I chose a flight that goes through Zurich and allows me 7 hours in Zurich. And you should have seen the excitement in my life. of getting a mini holiday I have not paid for. That is me doing this little thing on the side on an annual basis. And I was thinking, compare that to my friend who does that on a weekly, maximum bi-weekly basis, of booking flights on company tab to go to various places, of booking hotels on company tab, of having a... So this particular one would offer you a rental car. And look at me. No, I don't want to drive. No, no, no. I have a British license that I can drive, of course, but I'm just thinking, I'll be a princess. It's lovely. So I said, well, when I get opportunities to travel on tickets I don't buy, isn't it awesome? And yeah, she gets it as her mainframe. That's her regular. That's her routine. Just because she was brave enough to change from being a teacher to become educational consultant. That's a career change. And I suppose it brings a bit of risk. Yes, you lose your holidays, but damn, don't you get a much better life? Working itself is like a holiday. When you go to these places, there's always lunch put on for you. They organize a bit of tourism for you, especially if you stay in for a day or two in these new places. This girl is now on an eternal holiday. So think about it. Think about it. Ruth, how you doing? My conversations are more suited to those of you around my age and around similar circumstances. Some people have got here at younger ages, and there are a whole crop of brand new young people who are not afraid to move. If you are 2-3 years in a career, why not? You may actually be in with a chance to make a move quick and to improve. And what I'm saying is, don't be too afraid. Don't let fear hold you back. Don't let the fear of change restrict you to life that you know you don't want. The fear of change can restrict people and confine people to situations they don't want. And I'm trying to logically rationalize out of this fear of change for a lot of us. It doesn't make sense. What we need to change from doesn't work anyway. Good morning, Sister Amma. What we need to change from doesn't work anyway. If it's not working for you, why not brave it out and check something else out? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Duff, how you doing? How do you say your name? Prijmera? I know I didn't say it right, forgive me, but that's my best attempt. Yeah. You're a customer services agent earning peanuts. There is a chance for you to go and do nursing. But Amma, how can an old man like me study to be a nurse? Honey, at my age, I just finished a course. The toughest course there is. I don't think there's any nursing course that is going to be comparable in toughness to a doctorate. And I just did it at my age. The impact of AI on content creation. I think AI has made content creation so much easier. Ordinary people are able to create extraordinary things. Those of you who are dedicated to doing things the old traditional ways are in trouble, because you will be competing with those who have got better tools, who can create more efficiently. You will not survive as a traditional person if you don't leverage some of these tools. Even if you want to do a monologue like I am right now, you will need a breadth of information. A lot of people don't realize that you have to do research before you create and curate. You have to curate before you create. So that research process could be simplified, it could be hastened, it could be improved by AI. AI can do so much in so many industries, particularly with content creation. These days, you can run a video and you can run it through these AI platforms, and the AI will cut your footage and sequence things for you so that it becomes a logical sequence. AI can cut sections and make short form. Those of us who create podcasts, you can have episodes in the conversation that don't fit the frame. AI can now, these days you can actually highlight the text and delete it and the whole video. Look, video editing has changed a lot since AI turned up on the block. I kid you not. So yeah. Olawumi, how you doing? Amen, Sister Amma, and God bless you too. Check out, so I will be live more on the TikTok platform. It's called Inspirational M. Or if you search for my name, Mamet, you should find me. I am on there most evenings now. I'm trying to find ways in which we can maintain the fidelity of our conversations. I have found a much younger audience over there, but we'll navigate it and figure out how I balance the feeds. You're doing quite well on TikTok. Well, you need to come and teach me this TikTok. I suck on TikTok. Don't understand anything about TikTok. Don't know why I will be getting lions. And even the roses people sent me, I don't know where to find it. You have to join. Yes, find me. Facebook have just made themselves impossible to work with. So I am going to be curating more. So my legacy footage is all going on YouTube. And the live feed is going to be on TikTok. Yeah? Find it. Hi Jocelyn, how you doing? It's good to see you. Yeah, again, I have been a Facebooker for 7 years. But Facebook have made the position untenable. We cannot sit here and be dedicated and committed to what doesn't work. You have to be willing to move. So I have always described myself as a Facebooker. At the moment, I'm going to have to think about becoming something else. Becoming a YouTuber is certainly going to be a possibility. I might actually move these live videos and move it onto YouTube. I'm going to I've always had a streamer, but I hated putting the same content across all the platforms. That's why I didn't do it. Jazzy, hello sis. Mwah. So yeah, I am going to go off the dedication to one platform and I'm going to diversify. That's how life is. You've got to respond to changes in the environment, otherwise you will not survive. Looney, you will not survive. It's the same thing in the workplace. Sometimes your career has been established for a long time, but what was a safe, secure career is no longer a safe, secure career. I remember in the financial crash, my husband was working in the financial sector at that time. And as soon as this hit, we had to make a very quick decision. So he retrained to become a social worker. That's what he did originally. Then we moved to this place. And when we moved to this place, it became very apparent the social work was not going to be it. Now it's picking up here. It wasn't when we first came. And so he had to go into education and come join me to teach. And he did. And when he was making that move, he was not exactly a spring chicken. But he needed to do it. So he did it. And I don't know if he's made all his moves yet. Who knows where else we go and what else we do. If it becomes necessary for him to change to become an educational consultant, that's what he does. If it becomes necessary for him to become an instructional designer, well, that's what he does. It is not dedication to anything, but a commitment to finding what works. The emphasis is on what works, what serves better. Hey, in Shiraba Prophet. Hey, Fumi, how are you doing? Good morning. Well, good morning from Abu Dhabi. Most of you in North America, it is night. And yes, it is 8:27 a.m. and I'm rolling into work. Again, these things play on my mind. I would have been in the middle of the first period already. I'd have been there, sat there for 40-45 minutes in homeroom. First period would be halfway through by now. This Ramadan, which allows me to drive to work at this time, has had me thinking, do I want to be at work at 7:30? Do I? Are there other things I could do that could help me to have a more relaxed morning? Jump out of bed, rush, 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 jump in, chase traffic. Oh, hey. It's exhausting. It exhausts you at some point. But what will get you out of that one will require you to be fearless. It would require you to be fearless. But I'm thinking I would love this to be my norm. If I did a 9 to 5 job, well, I'll be at work at 9 and I'll finish at 5. At the moment, I go to work at 7 and I finish at 4. 9 to 5 is looking very attractive. But 9 to 5 will come with 30 days. Okay, touche. We manage 30 days. Figure out what to do with 30 days. But the fear of change. And sometimes the people who even bring the fear are not the people who are taking the risk. Your friends in the disguise of common sense. And sometimes with the best of intentions. Your family members with the best of intentions, but situated in fear, will tell you things that make it so difficult for you to be brave and make the moves that could change your life. And at some point, you will have to decide, hey, I'm going to make this call. In business, I've ended up making many, many, many calls without my husband's agreement. Oh, Jazzy. Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. I've had to make moves without my husband's agreement. And the moves pay out and it's like, oh, touche. Yeah. You have to be brave. You have to be bold in order to be able to make the big wins. That's what I want to say to you today. You have to be brave to try new crazy things. As I was telling you yesterday, you have to be willing to quit so that you might be in with a chance to start afresh. So, today's message, like has been these last few weeks, I discuss what is pertinent in my life so that I can find you practical, useful examples. Yeah. I want to find you practical, useful examples from my own life. So I discuss what is pertinent in my life. I pray for bravado for you. I pray for discernment for you. I pray for knowledge and awareness. Well, dynamics have been changing for a long time, you know. Change is the only constant in our environment and the current dispensation within which we live. Oh, change is fast. It is very fast. It's very furious. So if the environment is changing fast and furious, you cannot be stagnant. You cannot be. You cannot afford dogmatic devotion. No, you can't. You have to be brave and move. That's what I'm saying to you. Chibodi, you have to be brave. And people will say crazy. Again, I remember when my husband and I made that decision and I resigned from my faculty leader job to come abroad. We had to empty over a decade of our lives in a home that we owned, to come and rent people's houses. And I remember my friends at the time and family members actually. And what would the houses be like? What if? And if you've watched me, the house I own in Manchester is a house I do not want to live in anymore. It is beneath my taste now. Well, I have had to enjoy much upgraded facilities because I had the bravado to move. Yeah. It's the same thing. We had to condense all our life, give away most of the things, condense each person's life into one suitcase and one carry-on, and came on this adventure. It has been the greatest adventure of our lives. The children will talk about it for decades to come. My children's lives is not identifiable from what it could have been if we continue to live where we lived. they have been a prince and princess here because we dared to move. Yeah. In the same way, when it is time for you to make these choices, it would require a little bit of bravado. That if you would be brave, you could win big time. I've arrived. Let me go and get some work done. And I'll speak to you guys on the way back. Yeah? Okay.